Hello everyone, today I want to practice skill reading. The topic today we are continue to study about the uh, chapter 4, expansion of the maintenance of the compliance with good manufacturing practice for the pharmaceutical products and pharmaceutical starting material. Article 9, um, periodic inspection of maintenance of the GMP compliant. Maintenance of GMP compliant by a manufacturer shall be periodically inspected every 3 years from the date of the signing the previous inspection record except surprise inspection or audit by the Ministry of Health of the Department of Health. In November every year, each receiving authority shall review and promulgate the plan for periodic inspection of the maintenance of the GMP compliance by manufacturer in the succeeding year. The plan for periodic inspection of the maintenance of the GMP compliance shall be published on the website of the receiving authorities regarding the manufacturer specified in the Clause 3, Article 6 of this circular. The Drug Administration of the Vietnam shall publish and implement the plan for periodic inspection of the maintenance of the GMP compliance and inspection of the maintenance of the GDP compliance if the manufacturer so requires, at least 30 days prior to of the date of the carrying out periodic inspection of GMP compliance. According to the published plan, the manufacturer shall submit a report on its manufacture of the of pharmaceutical products and pharmaceutical starting material and maintenance of the GMP compliance. Hereafter referred to as operation and GMP compliant maintenance report. According to the form number 2 of the appendix 10 of this circular, enclosed with updated technical document about structure, technique, and personnel of the manufacturers in case any change is made to the receiving authorities. For example, if the estimated date of the periodic inspection of the manufacturer A is on August 18, 2028. 2028, the manufacturer aid required to submit an operation and GMP compliant maintenance report to the receiving authorities by July 18, 2028. If the manufacturer fails to submit the operation and GMP compliance maintenance report within the time limit prescribed in Clause 3 of this circular within 50 days from the deadline from the submission of the report, the receiving authority shall request the manufacturers in writing to submit the operation of the GMP compliance and maintenance report as described. Within 45 days from the date on which the receiving authority sent the written request, the manufacturer shall submit the operation and GMP compliance maintenance report enclosed. Within the written explanation for its delay in submission by the aforementioned deadline, If the manufacturer fails to submit the report, the receiving authority shall carry out a supply inspection or audit the GMP compliance maintenance by the manufacturer as described in Article and Article 12 of this circular. 7. Sequencing of the procedures for the inspection and classification of result of inspection of GMP compliant are described in Article 6 and 7 of this circular. If the event of any disease, disaster, catastrophe for the world where is travel restricted, the receiving authority cannot carry out the inspection of the GMP compliant maintenance as described. The receiving authorities shall issue the certificate of GMP compliant at the request of the manufacturers to serve the maintenance of the import of manufacturers' products and pharmaceutical study material. Conduct remote inspection if the inspected entities is the manufacturers for sterile pharmaceutical products and biological pharmaceutical products or the compliance with GMP at level 3 or 4 according to most recent inspection. After the recovery from the disaster, disease, or catastrophe of the receiving authorities shall inspect it. GMP compliance maintenance as is described in Article 6 and 7 of this circular. Article 10. Processing of the result of the periodic inspection of GMP compliance maintenance. If the GMP inspection report indicated of the manufacturer's compliance with the GMP at level 1 are described in point A, clause 3, article 7 of this circular, within 10 days from date of the completing of the GMP inspection report, the receiving authority shall update information about the maintenance of GMP compliance by the manufacturer on its website and web portal of the Ministry of Health are described in Clause 6, Article 9 of this circular and issue the certificate of GMP compliance according to Form Number 5 in the Appendix 10 of this circular if the manufacturers applied for insurance of the certificate of GMP compliance. If the manufacturer suspend one or more manufacturing operation within the scope of the certification writing of the certificate of the satisfaction of the condition for pharmaceutical business, the receiving authority shall update information maintenance of GMP compliance with regard to manufacturing operation undergoing GMP compliance maintenance inspection, which conclude GMP compliance of the such operation is the maintenance and issue a notice requesting the manufacturers to follow procedures for the adjustment of the certificate of the satisfaction of the condition for the pharmaceutical business as described in point B, clause 3, article 36 of law on pharmacies. Within 5 working days from the date of the within 5 working day from the day of completing of the GMP inspection report, the receiving authorities shall send a notice requesting the manufacturers to rectify the discovered deficiencies according to the form numbers sitting in the appendix 1 to the decree number 163 2025 government decree together with the GMP inspection report to the manufacturers and rectification report must be sent to the receiving authority within 45 days from the date on which the receiving authority sent the GMP inspection report. The manufacturer shall submit to rectification report including a plan and evidences, a document, images, video, certificate of another documentary evidences for completion of the rectification of the deficiencies with written on the GMP inspection report. Within 20 days from the day receiving the rectification report, receiving authority shall assess a result of the deficiency by the manufacturers and conclude the level it is GMP compliance. If the result of the deficiency rectification marks the manufacturers the manufacturer comply with the GMP in receiving authority shall update information about the maintenance of the GMP compliance by the manufacturer on its website or web portal of the Ministry of Health. As described in Clause 6, Article 10 of this circular, issue the certificate of the GMP compliance according to Form number 5, Appendix 10 of this circular, if the manufacturer applied for issuance of the certificate of the GMP compliance. If the result of deficiency rectification shows that the manufacturer still fails to comply with GMP, the receiving authority shall issue notification that further corrective action are unnecessary and submit an additional report. The manufacturer shall have the 45 days from the receipt of the notification to complete corrective action and send report thereon. Within 135 days from the day on the completing the GMP inspection report, if the manufacturer fails to submit the rectification report or still fails to comply with the GMP after response, the manufacturer failed to submit the rectification report or still fails to comply with GMP after rectifying deficiency at the described in point C of this clause, the receiving authority shall send a notification of the failure to the comply with GMP and impose one or some measure described in point A and B clause 4 in this article, depending on the nature and level of the non-compliance with GMP. If the GMP inspection report indicates that the manufacturers comply with the GMP at level 3 as the prescribed in point C clause 3 article 7 of this circular, sequence and time of processing of the result of the GMP compliant inspection are described in clause 2 of this article. Within 20 days from the receipt of the rectification report, the receiving authority shall carry out a site inspection deficiency rectification at the manufacturing facility before concluding at the level of the GMP compliant are described in point C clause 2 of this article. Within 5 working days from the date of the signing the inspection report, according to the assessment of the risk of deficiencies in the quality of the pharmaceutical products and pharmaceutical starting material, and pharmaceutical product user safety and receiving authority shall issue the notification of the failure to comply with the GMP enclosed within the GMP inspection report. Depending on the nature and level of the non-compliance with GMP, the receiving authority shall impose one or some of the following measure. Issue a document on a suspension of the manufacturer's operation, impose penalties for the administrative violation, or transfer of case to the competent authorities for imposition of the penalties in the accordance with the regulation of the law. The penalties for administrative violations. Request of the Ministry of Health issue the decision on revocation of the certificate of satisfaction of a condition for pharmaceutical business at this point equal to Article 40 of the law on the pharmacy in case the manufacturer above the expiry of the suspension period still fails to rectify the deficiency. If the manufacturers in a eligible for one or more manufacturing operations specified in it issue certificate of satisfaction of the condition for pharmaceutical business, the receiving authority shall issue a document on the suspension of the manufacturer's violation operation, impose penalties for the administrative violation, or transfer the case to the competent authorities for imposition of the penalties in accordance with regulation of the law on the pharmacies. The law on penalties for a ministry violation. Request Ministry of Health and Vietnamese issue this decision on revocation of the certificate satisfaction condition and pharmaceutical business to remove the business activity for which the manufacturer is ineligible at this point in Article 14 of the law on the pharmacy in case the manufacturers upon expiry of the suspension thereof still fail to ratify rectify with the manufacturer animal so rectify where some police requires for rectify the efficiencies. State of if the manufacturers any if the manufacturers ineligible for one or more manufacturers operation is specified in it issue certificate of satisfaction of the condition for the pharmaceutical business, the receiving authority shall issue the document on the suspension of the manufacturer's is violation operation imposed penalties for the administrative violation or for transfer the case to the competent authorities for imposition of the penalties in accordance with the regulation of the law on the penalties for the administrative violation. request a Ministry of Health of the Vietnam issue a decision on revocation of the certificate satisfaction condition for pharmaceutical based which for a financial the certification compliant with the comfortable with the issue activities for which the manufacturer is eligible if it so request within 5 working days from the day of the concluding that the manufacturer's maintenance comply with GMP or issuing the decision on revocation of the issue certificate satisfaction of the condition for the pharmaceutical business because of the manufacturer's failure to maintain GMP compliance of the receiving authority shall update GMP compliance status on its website as described in Closed Article 10 and Article 8 of this circular of the manufacturer's compliance with GMP for information displayed in Closed Article 10 and 8 of this circular manufacturer's display of the comply with GMP or information about the revocation of the certificate of the satisfaction of the condition for the pharmaceutical business or certificate of GMP compliance, if any. If the manufacturer fails to maintain its GMP compliance, if the concluded that the sample of the manufacturer's product or a pharmaceutical starting material collected by the inspectorate during the inspection violated quality regulation, the receiving authority shall handle it according with the applicable regulation. Number 1. Before making one or the changes specified in point A and B of this clause, a vaccine manufacturer should send a notification including the result of assessment of the risk and some effect of the change expected to be made on product quality and safety. Changes specified in point D, E, G, clause and 2 of this article. Manufacturers or a trial manufacturer of vaccines or another pharmaceutical products on the vaccine product slide that have been certified. Within 50 days, the Drug Administration of the Vietnam shall respond in writing in case it does not agree with the change proposed by the vaccine manufacturers. After making any change specified in making change, the manufacturer shall apply for issuance of the certificate of satisfaction of the condition for the pharmaceutical business or submit a report on its change using the form number set in appendix 10 of this circular. If making one of the changes specified in point B, clause 1, article 36 of the law on the pharmacies, or changing the location of the factories at the same business location, or operation a new factory at the same business location, or expanding existing factory, or making a major change to the structure or floor plan of any facility of one or more production lines or of the entire factory on the basis of the existing factory structure or oh my god uh, changes major changes major and importance manufacturers equipment, thereby affecting manufacturer's process and quality of the pharmaceutical products and pharmaceutical studied material, or changes auxiliary system or principle of the designing and the operating the unity system, thereby affecting manufacturer's environment, or the manufacturer wishes to switch from the producing both dispersion chemical pharmaceutical products and OTC chemical pharmaceutical products to only manufacturing OTC pharmaceutical products and vice versa. In cases of the changes specified in point A clause 2 of this circular, um, the manufacturer shall submit an application for the certificate of the satisfaction of the condition for the pharmaceutical business as described in Clause 2 and Clause 4, Article of the condition for the pharmaceutical business as described in Clause 2 and Clause 4, Article 38 of the Law on Pharmacies. Sequences inspecting, classifying, and producing. The result inspection of the GMP compliance is specified in Article 6, 7, and 8 of this circular. If the manufacturer makes one of the change described in point B, C, D, or H, clause 2 of this article, or the manufacturers of sterile or pharmaceutical products and pharmaceutical starting material makes the change specified in point D, clause 2 of this circular of this article, the manufacturer is required to submit a report on its change accompanied by the relevant technical document to the receiving authorities. The receiving authority shall carry out an inspection at the manufacturer's facility if the manufacturers comply with GMP. The receiving authority shall grant a written consent to its changes. The sequences of the inspecting, classifying, and processing the result of the inspection of GMP compliance in case of the change is specified in point B, clause 2 of this article is specified in Article 6 of 7 and 10 in this circular. The sequence is inspection, classified, and processing of the result inspection of GMP compliant in case of the change made the manufacturer specified in point C or D, close to this circular, or the change made by the manufacturer's sterile pharmaceutical products and pharmaceutical starting material specified in point D, E, or G, close to this circular. It is described in Article 6, 7, and 8 of this circular. Receiving. Receiving authority shall carry out the subscribed inspection and processes. The inspection results as described in Clause 12 of this circular in the change report of the change show that the manufacturer fails to maintain its GMP compliance of the manufacturers of pharmaceutical products and pharmaceutical starting material make one or the changes described in point 8, clause 2 of this circular, article, the manufacturer shall following procedure or instructed. The certificate of satisfaction of the condition for pharmaceutical business at the deployed include 1. Article 12, 20 of the decree number 163 2025 government decree. In case the manufacturer has been error GMP compliant or error GMP equivalence compliance as expected by one of the SRAs or drug regulatory authority recognized by the Ministry of Health based on WHO classification and request the declaration of the information on it compliant on the website of the receiving authorities. The manufacturer shall submit a written request for declaration enclosed with the certificate, GMP compliance, or document concluding that the manufacturer has been error GMP compliance or error GMP equivalencies compliant and GMP inspection report issued by SR8 or the drug regulation error GMP equivalent compliance and GMP inspection report issued by SR8 or a drug regulatory authorities recognized by the Ministry of Health based on WHO classification. Within 15 days from the day of the receiving the application dossier, the receiving authority shall be review the dossier, compare it with information on the manufacturer's operation recorded by the certificate with in writing on the manufacturer's certificate satisfaction a condition for the pharmaceutical business and declare the following information is website and web portal of the Ministry of Health of Vietnam. The name and address of the manufacturer's address of factory production line expected number of the certificate of error GMP and equivalent to LES GMP or document concluding manufacturer's compliance with error EU GMP or equivalent to EU GMP validated a period and issuing authorities and scope of the manufacturer's method manufacturing operation equivalent to the certificate of GMP compliant. Article 12. Article 12, okay. 12. Supply inspection GMP compliant with audit maintenance of GMP compliance. Oh my god. Receiving authorities shall carry out a separate inspection of the maintenance of the GMP compliance of the manufacturers. I'm so sorry, I have to stop now. My power is too low, very low. I need to stop now. Thank you for listening.